Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review, so hopefully you find this one interesting. This movie is a horror film from the United States, English language, released in the year 2022, directed by Beth D'Arrojo, and this film is called Soft and Quiet. So Soft and Quiet is about a group of middle-aged, frustrated white women who are angry at society for their preferential treatment of foreigners coming into the country. So whether it's taking their jobs or whatever, they have this private group so they can vent their frustrations without the fear of repercussions. But unfortunately, their day takes a horrible turn as they spiral down a very dark path that leads to catastrophic consequences. And so what those consequences are is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Soft and Quiet. This is a movie that has a lot of buzz. A lot of people have been talking about it on the festival circuit, and a lot of people have been very vague when talking about it for a very deliberate reason. Is because the less you know about this movie, the more impact the movie's going to have. So not knowing exactly what I was getting myself in for, I knew that this was billed as a horrific film, but what was it going to be about, and how was this going to actually horrify me? And so going there knowing very little about the movie and expectations being very low and very curious, I come away from this movie absolutely mortified at what I saw. This is one of the most harrowing experiences I've had this year, and it's an experience that I'd put right up there with Snowtown from Australia and even Irreversible from France. In one of those films that you don't enjoy but you endure. And this is a movie that was just, it hit me with the power of a sledgehammer, and it made no apologies for it, and for that I really respected it. This is a movie that hits you with a strong sense of realism, and it is a true sort of horror. It's a horror that you can't disconnect yourself from, you can't disassociate from, because this happens right under our noses. This is the result of paranoia, it's the result of a poisoned mind, and it's a result of believing what you hear and taking everything as truth. And so this group of women, at the start of the film, what I really liked about this is that you see a picture of innocence, these group of women just talking about their problems, but then there is very slow indications that there is something more sinister going on. There is no exposition in this film, and the film hits you on a strong realistic level because of the real time that the movie is shot in. This is one continuous take. It's very reminiscent of The Revenant with Leo DiCaprio. It's also very reminiscent of a film from Germany called Victoria, and it takes a lot of skill to have a one-shot sort of film and taking place in real time, and Beth D'Arrojo demonstrates how good she is behind the camera, and the production levels of this movie just seep realism, and the realistic horrors that this movie possesses just hit me for 6. This is a film that I cannot watch again because of the emotional impact that it had. It intensifies the emotion of anger, but it also has that emotion of anger for a very strong purpose, and that purpose is to open your eyes to the real horrors of this world. And until you actually deal with these horrors, it's going to happen time and time again. But how do we deal with them? And that is the truly horrific thing, is that we don't really know. Is that once a mind becomes poisoned to a stage, it's basically irreversible. And what these women get themselves into, their situation is irreversible, and it's just a train wreck. You know it's going to have a strong impact, but when the impact hits you, it hits you on such a infuriating level. And that can be a negative to the film, but it's also a positive because it's not making any apologies, it's not sugarcoating anything. So the realistic effect that this movie has was intensified not only through the camera work, but also the characters that were played in front of us. I thought the acting was very authentic. The script I thought was very realistic. It almost felt like they were making it up as it went along. So it's a fly-on-the-wall experience, and you're following these women and the set of tragic events that take place, and how it got too far out of their control, and when they realise what they've done, it's already too late. And so it's just basically a domino effect of horrible, horrible events. And so if you are into the harrowing experiences, this movie is definitely going to hit you, and so I have to be very, very careful going into it, because if you are sensitive, then this is a film that's not going to be for you. If I have issues with the movie, as I said, it's shot in real time, so there's no real character development. You're taking, you're getting into the film on one specific day, so we don't know too much about these people, and it doesn't have that replay value because of that very fact. It just doesn't have any real strong emotion to it. It's just a situational kind of film, so it doesn't really have that replay value. So it's a movie that's going to be very difficult to recommend to everybody. And so the movie has a lot of anger as well. It creates a lot of frustration, and so that again is a reason why it's not going to be for everybody. But if you want a movie that's going to hit you on a very high impact, this movie is definitely one that will do that. Beth D'Arrojo, it does create something very brave, and it's something that we really need to discuss to prevent this sort of thing from happening. And so unfortunately it does happen regularly, and this is a film that paints just an everyday occurrence in a very, very dark way, and it leads to catastrophic consequences. And so if it sounds like your kind of thing, go in there with very limited knowledge of what you're about to get into, and it's going to hit you with a very strong effect. So overall, for Soft and Quiet, going to give this one 3 stars. It's not a film that I thought was brilliant, but it was a movie that was different, it was unique, but it also drives home a very strong message that's been done before, but this is done in a slightly different way. So if it sounds like your kind of thing, go out there and see it, but be very careful. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.